This box is looking a bit tatty, but it contains a train pack which has a BR38 Deutsche Reichsbahn steam locomotive, a 460, and we have 5 wagons here. 3 of them are Deutsche Reichsbahn, 1 is Deutsche Bundesbahn, and it looks like we've got 1 Soviet grey wagon as well. It's going to be difficult to get this open and everything out on camera. I'm just going to cut to it all being unpacked and then we can take a closer look. So this model has actually even come with its instruction sheet, which has a date up here which says 1990. I guess that's when it was sold, and you can see a stamp here which says it's been sold in Berlin. Got a drawing here of a real steam locomotive, and we've got a bit of history down below. It's in 4 different languages. It actually says down here what these languages are. So we've got Dutch, Russian, Polish, and I think that's maybe Czech Republic. Not quite sure, but certainly no English on this one. Inside we have some drawings which show things like how to couple up the tender to the locomotive, the fact that the smoke box door comes off to change the bulb if you need to. Down here, where to oil this model. Also looks as though we've got some extra parts to add on to it, and that continues over on the other page and continues on and on. So there's certainly a lot of stuff we can add to this model. On the back as well is showing how to open up the tender, because this is a tender drive model. And if you look down here as well, there's actually a date on here of 1989. So that's when this leaflet was actually designed. We've also got this small box which has some additional extras inside it. So let's have a look. So we've got a ladder, some bits of paper, and we've got 4 little figures here, all of which are painted, and we've got some more little pieces which we can add on to the locomotive as well, some of which are actually in metal. And inside the little envelope we have even more little pieces. We seem to have a driver and engineer as well, glazing pieces as well, and that's another coupling. And here is the set all laid out, and unfortunately the smoke box door has fallen off already, and we have a piece here as well which needs to get put back onto the locomotive somewhere. So let me do that first and then we can have a look at this closer up. So that was just the reverser rod which went in here, and it was easy enough to get the smoke box door on, but it seems to not want to stay on and just keep popping off as well. Looking a bit closer up at this locomotive now, we're going to have to remember that there's extra parts that you can fit onto this model which were in that little box that we saw. So some of these little holes here you can see on the boiler, they'll be filled up with other items when you fit those pieces to this. But I must say this is looking really good. Sometimes with Piko models they can be really fragile, and I think that's the case with this one, and also they suffer a little bit from looking a bit plasticky, but I don't think this one particularly does. The matte black of the top part looks really good, and we've got all these extra pieces already put onto the model which looks really great. They're all made of plastic, very delicate, but they look really good and they're really highly detailed. The smoke box door has a very clear number on it, and we have an overhead flash as well, and the detail on that is really good. I really like the rivet detail on the brackets there. We also have lights down the front here. Now these look as though they had a bit of a bash or something when it's been sent to me. I mean, obviously it's been sent through a courier system, so you got to take your chances. I like the checkerboard effect here as well, and we have some detail on the buffer beam and a hole in the middle where I guess we can put in a dummy coupling if we want. There's no provision to fit on a normal coupling onto the front of this locomotive. The buffers are extra pieces which have been added on, and as we look down the side of this locomotive, it's really got a lot of detail. It's very appealing as well. It's quite a compact machine, but it looks really good. Even down here at the cab we've got flush fit glazing, very clear printing, even some printing down here in the red section, and these little kind of door things moulded in, as well as these handrails. And looking up the top, it looks really good as well. We've got no moulding mark here, and it's this nice matte black colour. Got some vents in the roof, and you can see along the top of the boiler, it's got a lot of detail as well. We've got a hole there though, which would be for the whistle to fit in, which is in the box of extra pieces. These little handrails here are very fragile. They've actually got a break in it on this side, and that's also the case on the other side too. As we look around here inside the cab, we've got a fully detailed firebox. Even some of these gauges look really good, and we also have bracing underneath the roof as well. It's quite a good model, this one actually. As we look down this side, we've got the reversing rod in here, which I put in earlier, and the pipework as well is slightly different, but still looks really good. Strangely, we've got normal plastic here. It's not matte black for the pistons, and you can see the valve gear. It's all in plastic on these Piko models. This is the Achilles heel on these, which often break. I've actually got some of these spare just in case, but this one seems to be perfect, and all the valve gear looks really good. Because the drive is in the tender, we can actually move the wheels around here, The wheels have got plastic inserts but metal outside edges. So the bogie on the front here, it does move but not a huge amount, so it's not going to go around tight corners, this model. And it's got a bit of play in it as well, which will help it to stay on that rough track. I like how the brakes are very much in line with the wheels as well. So overall, this steam locomotive actually looks really good. Let's move on and have a look at the tender. So obviously much heavier than the steam locomotive. This has got the motor in it, and I guess it's got a weight in it as well. Underneath we've got traction tyres on the middle wheels, and the outer ones, well, they don't have traction tyres, but they looks as though they're all driven. We've got a coupling here which moves from side to side. I think that's actually in an M pocket as well, which is quite incredible. And I think maybe here the plastic isn't quite that good. It's a little bit pink. It's certainly not like that on the locomotive. I'm not sure if the camera is going to pick that up. But we do have the same kind of wheels with plastic inserts and metal on the outside. These are meant to be bogies, but they're actually not. They're just fixed into the moulding. And if you look at the black part, it's nice matte again. Got a lot of details printed here, which is very nice and clear. Some steps here, lots of rivet detail, which is great. And down this end we've got some handrails moulded there, which are very nice and thin. And we've got the toolbox at the back, a number at the top, and I think we've got some lighting at the back here as well. There's some rivet detail on the buffer beam, and again the buffers are separately added into it. And looking up top here, we've got these nice looking hatches on the back here, and we've got this pretty good representation of coal. It's very filled up. It's absolutely stacked to the roof, this one. And at this end where the fireman works, it looks really good as well, with some coal coming through here. So we'll give this a try in a moment, but let's move on and have a look at one of the wagons. So this is just a fairly basic Deutsche Reichsbahn van, but it's a good moulding. I think we've actually looked at one of these before in this channel. It does have a nice amount of detail. The planking's really good. It's got rivet detail. The printing's good enough as well. The roof is just integral to the body, but it's been painted in this grey colour. No moulding mark, a really nice finish on it. And we also have things like these little brackets out the side here and handrails which have been moulded into the main moulding but look really good. The chassis is moulded in black and it's got a nice amount of detail underneath, all the brake gear and bracing, and we've got the typical Piko couplings with these little metal springs which always go missing. The wheels are quite coarse but they revolve really well, but they are very bright. We do have brakes in line with the wheels though, which is really good. This I believe is a brake van, again from the Deutsche Reichsbahn. It's a type PWO. It doesn't have any glazing on this model, but I do like the roof section with this kind of cream colour. Now this is a separate piece that's been added on. Again, there's some nice printing on this. It's actually really well done. I do like this part here, which I guess is meant to be like chalk marks on this board. And the chassis also has a lot of rivet detail. And again, the coarse wheels underneath here. This one doesn't revolve that great. This one's a bit stuck as well. It's not as good as the van, that's for sure. But I think maybe the brakes have had a little bit of a bash in here, and that's a fault of it being so close to the wheels. When I move it back, it actually revolves really well. We've got the same couplings as well, and it's got a nice amount of bracing and wood effect underneath here too. A nice little van, this one. I've seen this wagon a few times in different colour combinations. It's got a brakeman's cab with a different colour of roof there and very fine railings on the ends. And it's obviously multiple mouldings here. We've got the green and the actual brown tanks. And it looks as though the base of it has been painted grey. It's quite good on the number board. It's very clear, the printing. And we also have some warning signs. This one here, the red and white, is actually quite difficult to see. It's a bit fuzzy, and it's a fairly basic looking chassis, but not too bad at all. It's got nice detail. The springs, again, the brakes are in line with the wheels. The wheels revolve really well, same kind of wheel set, and we've got the same kind of couplings. And as you'd expect, the bracing and brake gear looks really good, and we've got some wood effect as well underneath here. So it's quite an interesting wagon, this one. This tanker wagon with the SO on it is a DB one, and you can see that the bogies move around quite a lot on this, so it's got quite a lot of suspension travel. And the couplings are underneath here too. They're very similar and they're attached to the bogie, which is all made of plastic. We have wheels, very coarse ones again, but they revolve really good. And underneath we've got a good representation of all the pipe work and brake gear. It's very plain down the edges of the chassis here. And we have a tank which looks not too bad. It's got a slight moulding mark across the top, but you know, it's okay. But not a lot of detail in terms of the hatch and this other part here, which probably is a vent. And the printing isn't really that good. The logo isn't very well done. Looks a bit off center as well. And these red panels, they look okay, I suppose, but they could be a little bit better. Around this side, we've got a ladder which goes up to the top walkway. And we've got a brake platform here with some representation of wood planking. And the printing on this board here is not too bad. It's nice and clear, pretty plain though. and we do have some printing down on the chassis too. So it's kind of like an okay model, but I wouldn't say it was really great. And finally, this crazy bogie van, which has got a CCCP logo here and some Russian writing on it. It's got the same kind of setup with the bogies, which have a lot of movement in them. It's almost like some kind of suspension. And we have the same kind of Piko couplings here as well. Not much detail underneath, although we do have brake gear and bracing, but the van looks really quite an odd looking shape. It's got a brakeman's area at this end with an indented door. We don't have any glazing though, but we do have this little handrail up top here. Looks as though it should have some ladders going up or something, but it doesn't. But it does on the other end though, so that's a bit strange unless it's broken off. But it doesn't look as though it has, so that's a bit strange. On top of this van, we've got a lot of nice hatch detail with nice rivets and brackets. And we also have the walkway, which has been picked out in brown paint. The masking isn't that great in places, but it certainly makes for an interesting looking van. And this door in the middle looks really good too. The definition is really quite good. So the roof section is a separate piece to the main moulding. So it means that the grey here has been painted over the black and masked off. And it actually is not too bad, especially around the bottom of the door where it could have gone completely wrong, but it's actually really good. Although it is a bit fuzzy down here where the chalkboard would be. So that's a very unusual van. I've never seen one like this before. But now that we've looked at all the things that come in this train pack, I think we should try and see if we can get the locomotive working. Okay, here we are on the test track, and as normal this is my Hornby third radius track, and I'm using my H&M controller on 12 volts DC to give this some power. I've not run this since I got it, and I'm actually thinking it might not have actually been run since it was bought back in 1990, so we'll give it a go, see what happens. Well, it wasn't running too good there because the actual coupling is hitting off the sleepers on the track. It looks as though it's maybe missing something to go underneath here, which just holds it up. With it having nothing there, it's just hanging down like this and catching on the rails. So let me just stick something in there, a little bit of plastic or something, and then we'll be back to try it again. Well, that's really surprising. An old Piko steam locomotive which actually runs really good. The problem we had at the start with the coupling at the back, I think it was just being bashed when it was sent to me, but I managed to fix it just with a little piece of plastic and now it runs perfectly. And I'm really quite surprised about that because normally these locomotives kind of don't. But I'm interested to see how much this weighs, so let's put this on the scales and check it out. So this locomotive comes in at 369 grams. So this train pack from Piko featuring the BR38 steam locomotive has been quite surprising to me. It was produced back in East Germany and sold in 1990, making this set 35 years old at time of recording. And it's actually survived really well. I don't think it's been really used that much because it's got all the extra parts in that little box. We've even got instructions as well. Although the exterior box is really tatty, so it's had some shelf wear. But this steam locomotive is looking really great. I love the finish on it. The matte black looks fantastic. And even though it's an all plastic model, it actually looks not too bad at all. All the wagons have their own little bit of character too. It's quite an interesting pack, and it's especially the case from the Russian van, which I don't think I've ever seen one of these before. And it just looks really quite crazy. I'm not sure if this train would ever have run in real life. We've got a mix of Deutsche Reichsbahn and Deutsche Bundesbahn, and also that Russian wagon. Maybe it might have done, but I'm not 100% sure. If you know, let me know in the comments. But as a model railway pack, this is actually really quite cool. It's really unusual, and all the models in this pack have their own unique features and make it something a bit different. In terms of performance, the locomotive runs absolutely perfectly. It's a tender drive and it's geared quite low, and you saw it there crawling along without any problems. And that is actually quite unusual for a Piko model. I don't think they're built to last, and certainly things like the plastic valve gear can always be a problem. But if you look after the models, or they're just not used that much, This model here has proven that they can actually still run perfectly to this day. Even the lights work, which is amazing. So this could be a great addition to your model railway collection. I think it could run no problems at all on your layout, but just as a collectible East German model railway set, it looks really cool, and it could be something really great to add to your model railway collection. But that's just what I think. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I'd love to know your thoughts. And if you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. It really helps this channel. I'll put the steam locomotive on the turntable so you can see all the way around. And in a moment, another video will appear. Just click on that and I'll see you there. But thanks for checking out this train pack with me. Appreciate your time and company on this channel. And I'll see you on my next video.
So model trains, model worlds, choo choo, model trains, tiny train, in tiny worlds, choo choo, model trains, tiny train.